Welcome to another episode with Grant and Brett from Cryptoverse Academy, where we make crypto and talk crypto in a language everybody can understand. Today's episode, we have a goodie for you, and I'll just preface it this way. We have many friends who talk to us about crypto and are confused about a lot of things, but they come on these little tokens here or there that they want explained. They want to do some research, and they need to know whether it's a good investment or a good buy or not. And then we say, well, look, you can totally do this, right? But make sure you do your homework. And that one phrase is like it's like mind blowing for most people. What does it mean to do your own homework in the crypto world? Like, how do you do it? Where do you go? What do you look for? How do you know that you're looking in the right place? And all the questions that really come out of doing your own homework in the crypto world. And that piece is what we want to highlight a little bit today. So, Brett, here's the challenge today. You and I only have communicated on the topic today, right?
Yep. I'm a little nervous.
I have not told you that what coin. I have had friends say, hey, I'm interested in this, but how would I do the homework on that? Correct? You don't know what token I'm going to give to you.
No, I have no idea.
And you're just a little bit nervous?
Just a little bit.
Not even
we'll see how it goes.
No. Okay. Well, we're going to have some fun with this one. In the gaming, there's different sections of the crypto world, as everybody knows. Some coins are meant for some things. And the one industry that is really interesting to a lot of people is gaming. And this coin that we keep hearing about is called, well, I'll say it as most friends say it to me, because I'm the user, right? I'm the guy that doesn't know how to do this. You're the guy that knows. I keep hearing about MANA. MANA. Yeah, MANA. 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 How would you go about, like, if I just hear that it's a really cool coin? That's what I hear, Brett. I hear that it's in gaming and that it's like this amazing coin that we should totally buy right now because it has all the potential in the world. Does that sound familiar to anybody out there?
Only every coin that ever comes out is pretty much fits that category.
Exactly. So I just don't want to get, I don't want to get ripped off. I don't want to lose my money. I want to know the risks. I need to understand a few of those things, but it's crypto. So how do I do that? How would I do that with MANA?
All right. So I'll share my screen and I'll walk through kind of generally what I would do. But before I do that, there are a couple of things that I want to point out that I personally have done and shot myself in the foot for. And so I'll give some of those tips that has maybe made me a little bit more gun shy than most because of some things that I've done. And if you hear the term I've aped in to something, that's what they'll use. I'll ape in. Yeah, I aped in on a couple of NFT projects, which basically means I just decided to go and buy it, and I got really bullish on it. I got excited about it, and so I decided to go buy it without doing too much research on it. I knew generally the person that was creating the NFT and whatnot, and then that NFT has since lost almost all its value.
That never happens in the crypto world.
That never happens, and it's kind of disappointing because it was a good chunk of money, at least for me. And so that's one thing that I would note beforehand. Like, don't get really, really excited about a project and get FOMO, or the fear of missing out. Just kind of try and take it as logically as you possibly can, because if you don't, the chances of you getting burned are pretty high.
It's almost like
speaking from experience.
It's almost like paper trading, right? The minute that you become emotional in a buy is probably the minute that you should just pause, back away, and reassess.
Yeah. And even if the price starts going up more and you're like, oh, I should have just bought in. No, you shouldn't have. You should have done your research first before you go and do that. So let's go through this. So mana is what you mentioned. So first thing I'm going to do is do mana, and then I'll usually follow it up with something like coin if I know that that's what that's what it is. So a coin, NFT, whatever it might be. So I'm going to do mana coin. Now you do have to be extremely careful when you're doing this, because there are recently I've seen on Twitter people are posting ads and things like that for other stuff. So like MetaMask. So you might see something on Twitter that looks like it's MetaMask, but in reality, it's someone that is trying to hack your MetaMask account, get access to it, so that then they can pull all your funds out. So be very, very careful when you're doing these, that you kind of look at stuff first before you go in, or find a website that you trust that would allow you to get into it. So for example, I can see here right off, I've got coinbase.com. I know from personal experience that coinbase.com is okay to use. I've actually used Coinbase to buy things off of it, to buy different tokens and coins. So for me, I don't see anything else here. I would personally kind of scroll through the, like what was returned. So here's welcome to Decentraland.org. I'm guessing that that's probably the website, but I also am not totally sure, and I want to be totally sure. So what I will usually do first is look through some of these other ones that I trust, like Coinbase. Another one that I personally trust is CoinGecko, because I've used them before. Crypto.com I would trust, and CoinDesk I would trust. One of those will more than likely have a link back to Decentraland that I should be able to trust pretty heavily without them directing me in the wrong direction.
It is probably worth, isn't it worth noting too, that some of these hackers, because that is a real problem in the crypto space, some of these people really wanting to hack your account it might even be called, and this is a bad example because it wouldn't happen, but Coinbase.com. You could, in theory, actually find a link that is Coinbase.coin gurus or something like that, right? It could say Coinbase in the URL and then some weird extension. So you have to look into those as well. That's another giveaway on a hack.
Yep, that is a very good point. It's like Coinbase.com. I know that that's the URL because I've gone to it before. And so you do have to pay attention to it. This isn't one of those things that you can kind of just willy-nilly start clicking on stuff like you normally can. When you're searching for different things. When you're dealing with this amount of money, there are always going to be hackers involved and people trying to get your money. So that is a very good point. Make sure that you are checking the actual URL. Don't just look at this part of the search result. Make sure you're looking at the URL. So I'm going to click on Coinbase, Decentraland, and at this point, I'm just going to kind of look and see where the link is. So here's an official website.
I noticed that you scrolled quickly past all the financial news of this.
Yeah, because I don't care too much. If I'm trying to figure out what the project actually is, then I'm going to go to their official website first and make sure that I have it pulled up, because I want to see what it looks like. So you told me about Mana, you told me it's about gaming. Well, before I even look at any of the financials, I kind of personally want to know what's behind it. Like, what are they trying to do with it? And so this, I can obviously read it. First ever virtual world owned by its users, yada, yada. And so I personally would just sit here and scroll through this and just start exploring on the website, because I want to see what's here first. And then from there, and that's me personally.
What are some of the indicators you're looking for? Is it just how they're describing their overall mission and purpose, or what are you looking at?
Part of it's like what their intent is, what they're trying to do. And then I can see up here, here's a keyword for me, it's a DAO. So that immediately tells me that they've got some type of like structure in place where it says owned by its users. The fact that they have a DAO in place, like what goes into that DAO, I don't know. but that would tell me that they're actually legitimately going down that direction to allow the users to decide what happens in the space because they have a DAO. So that's a trigger point for me. I would probably, I mean, I would click on that and I would start reading through, okay, what is the Decentraland DAO and all that stuff. And I would just keep reading through the website and see what's going on. The next thing that I would do after I go through that is I would look down here at the bottom, and I usually find Discord, because a project.
No, where are you looking? And I just want to point this out to the users because it's so small and it's always this small.
It's right down here at the bottom. Sometimes they'll be up here at the top, depending on the project. But just look for the little Discord icon. So it's this little like controller looking thing. And usually what I'll do at this point is I'll click on the Discord, because I want to see how many people are active in the community. How many people do they have that are online at any given time? How many people have signed up for it? And like the total amount of people that have signed up is interesting because it gives you a gauge of how many people are actually like looking at the project and what could potentially, like where it could potentially go. But the active users that you can see, and you can see how many online users are on Discord on that particular channel. I don't know why this is taking so long to load.
It looks like, I mean, the URL is Decentraland. It's still on their website, not on the Discord.
Yeah, but it should do a redirect for me. Okay, so then track. Next.
Oh, I love these.
Track,
these are like little
track,
puzzles,
track.
like Wall Street Journal puzzles that I feel like I can master.
Yeah. Okay, now I can click join Discord. And then accept invite. So right here, before I even accept it, I just want to show this. I've got 17,000 people online and 149,000 people that have signed up to be on Decentraland. That's actually a pretty healthy amount of people. That right there in and of itself makes this more interesting to me already.
Where is it?
Just on that.
That's interesting to me because how do you, probably everybody has their own baselines of where that becomes like a healthy community versus not. Is there a benchmark in your mind at where like, okay, this one's just barely getting started versus this one's actually growing, or at least has substantial enough people involved that that has some merit? Where is that for you? And how did you arrive to that conclusion?
I don't have it like a specific number. For me, it's more of a gauge based on like what I've seen in other projects.
It's more of a relative to other projects.
Yeah, it's like if I look at, if this will load, if I come over here to the Discord on this, and then I scroll down to, I don't know, let's look at holy cow. Discord is like throwing everything off on my computer right now. Okay, so if I scroll through here and let's pick Solana. Solana is one that's really interesting to me right now. So if I can see, let's see, most of the time I look at it initially when that piece first pops up to see how many people are in the Discord. And I know there's a way to do it on here, but I can't remember how to do it.
What you're trying to do is find more information about the community to show up on, for Solana or anybody else on Discord. How do you find the number of people in the community?
Yeah, so I was hoping that there was going to be an easier way to do it, but here you can see there are 3 admins. If it's green, it's all active. Core contributors, there's 21, it's all active. And whatnot, community. I mean, there's a lot of people that are active on here, like a lot of people.
Yeah. And
so that's one way that I will personally go about looking at it to see what's going on and see how active the community is.
Do you look at not just the members of the community, but do you ever scroll through some of the comments or some of the hashtags or something and see the overall health of the conversations in the community? And how much does that play into your role?
So like on this one, now that I'm in Solana, the first place that I typically go once I get added to a Discord, let's see if I can get it on the mobile view. Okay, so here's Decentraland. So first thing I personally do is I'll look for like a general or an announcements or something like that. So if I look at announcements, this tells me what Decentraland is actually posting on their Discord. So it's not everybody else commenting, it's what they're posting. How often are they posting? So like I can see January 28th and February 2nd, January 24th, January 21st. So these guys look pretty dang active on Discord, which is cool. Because that means they're actively trying to get community input and insights and everything else. And also saying like, hey, we're doing this. This is what's going on.
Yeah. Which if they are truly with a DAO, a DAO, right? If that's one of their missions, then they would have to be active for that to really sync up with activity. This is probably where there's that, I'm sure there's a quote, but where activity and results have to coincide to some degree. Yeah.
Totally. So after I went through and read this stuff, I would then go to the general. This is where you're going to have a lot of like general talk back and forth with community members and stuff like that. And so I would personally start going through some of these and look through what's going on. What are they talking about? What questions are being asked and whatnot. Here's the DAO one. So for this specific one, I would read through this DAO because this is going to be how the DAO is going to be structured, or how they're going to be asking questions on how it's structured and whatnot. So I would also start looking through here to see what's going on and what the intent is and everything else. I would probably look at the events and see what type of events things they have coming up. Not all of the Discords, by the way, are going to have this type of stuff. So a lot of it is just like, put yourself in the shoes of, try and put yourself in the shoes of the masses. You know, if you're getting into a game, what would you want to see in general? Like, okay, I'd want to see certain things that would happen that would be pretty cool that I think a lot of people would play. Well, how do I know what a lot of people would play? Well, go look at normal gaming. What are a lot of people playing in normal gaming? And what are people then getting excited about on the gaming space in this particular situation? And then start going through and looking at it from that lens of like, oh, that's interesting. That would be cool. And this includes phone games and the whole 9 yards, not just, you know, traditional video games on a console. We're talking phone games. Like, what do people spend a lot of time on? And is there any overlap, or there's some like things that I can look at that it's like, oh yeah, I see how that's somewhat similar. And then start making decisions from that point.
So I'm curious.
A healthy community is critical for something like a game.
Let me ask you this then, because we've been at this for 10 minutes ish. It could have been more. Probably the listeners are like, dude, it's been a lot longer than 10 minutes. Yeah. Come on. But at what point, because you're a gamer, right? You're kind of an interesting use case for this coin in some ways, right? Because you like the DAO concept, you like the gaming concept. In your mind, and just, I'm not going to pressure you into, endorsing this project because that's totally different, right? But in your mind, would you have seen enough into this at this stage in just the little bit? And I know you're mostly highlighting the journey of exploration. You may not have like looked at all the posts that you normally would have, et cetera. But in your mind, would you have checked the box given the amount of time spent into, I've checked the box of this is actually interesting and it deserves more time spent? Or is it at this stage, no, I've checked the box and actually I'm now interested in what the financials look like and where the potential opportunity might be? Like where are you, do you think, in this journey, if this was actually you wanting to potentially buy this crypto?
So personally, I would go actually read some more of this stuff and make sure that I understand like what the project's doing and where they're going. But at the same time, I actually feel pretty comfortable that I would come back at this point to Coinbase, and now I would look at where the financials are. And I'd be like, and I don't like coin, like this isn't good enough for me. I want to see like different stuff. I want to be able to slice it a little bit more. So I would probably go and try and find something else. I mean, this isn't horrible though. But You can see that the last day it's been going up. So I would probably just sit here and slice it a little bit. Last
But you would
week
get to
they
this
were
point, right?
trending.
At this point,
I
you
would
would
get to
say,
this. I would be close. I would be close to pulling the trigger on it. All-time high was 590, so that's good because I'm off the all-time high, which that
and
makes me comfortable. Which everything's off the all-time highs right now.
yeah,
That
right
I
now,
would,
yeah.
if you were to say like, right now, go, would you buy or not? I would probably. I'm leaning more towards no, this is interesting enough that I would actually put a little bit of money in to actually explore what they're actually doing. Not just, oh, I'm going to buy and hold it. I'm going to buy and use some of that to explore, like, can I buy land with it? Can I buy wearables with it? Like, what can I do in game with it? Is there a way that I can earn more tokens playing in game stuff? Because that will give me a gauge too of how well this is going to do over time, because it might not be the coin that's going to go up in price. It might be all the other stuff, the NFTs and whatnot, that are actually going to be what are going to increase in value, which means you buy the money and it's going to be like, oh, it didn't do jack squat, but yet the community is super vibrant, like pushing a lot. Well, okay, and then you just invested in the wrong thing. Like the coin didn't do much, but the NFT went up 100x. So what NFT is going to do that? Who knows? I don't know. No idea without putting a lot more time into it.
But that is interesting though, from like, and again, the question that we get a lot from just regular people that we hear all the time, name the coin, and they all have, funky names, but we always hear about, oh, you need to look at this coin. You need to look at this coin. And everybody that we talk to, most people are like, especially those that are new in this space. Well, how do I look at that? Like, where would I even go? And how would I even make a decent, logical, analytical response to that coin so that I am not pulled in emotion? Because we all know, I mean, this coin verse is so ripe for fraud, and it's so ripe for so many not nice things. So how would you actually go into it? So I think this is a really good exercise. You would go back, look at the website, first identify where the website is, like the legit website. Be careful on, just searching for Google and clicking on links. You have to go through that process. But once you've found the website, you'd look at what their overall mission and their pitch and all that stuff is. And then if you like that, you'd go to the community to see how healthy and vibrant the community is. And that often is on Discord. Is that a fair way to like capture the whole experience together?
Yeah. I would look at Discord. Another thing that I personally do quite a bit is look at Twitter. I spend most of my time on Twitter. That's usually where I get most of my information from, is Twitter, which also you have to be very careful where you're getting the information from. You have to follow people that have proven that they aren't going to try and just shill. Or shilling, for those that don't know, is basically, I'm just trying to pump the coin. I'm trying to get it up as high as I can because I have a following. And so they'll just talk about the coin to get the price to pump. So that's shilling. So you have to be careful with that stuff too, because you don't want to follow someone that's just going to shill coins and they're not in it for the longer term. I'm personally in it for the longer term. The short term stuff, I don't trust myself enough. I'm not smart enough to figure out how to get a short term buy and like flip it, because I'm like, oh, if I just hold it longer, I'll make more money, instead of setting my targets of like, oh, if I hit a 10% or a 10x increase or whatever, then I sell it. I don't care what the price is doing. But that's just not me.
Hey, so there you have it from the experts in the cryptoverse world, where again, we try to make crypto just sensible and speaking a language everybody can understand. Those are our thoughts. If you have thoughts on other additional ways that you found or other resources that you found to vet different coins or vet other opportunities, we would love to know about what you are wanting us to talk about and dive in further. I think that there will be another opportunity, not just go through this exercise on coins, but go through the same exercise on other things like NFTs. We've done a couple of videos on NFTs. Another one that I would like to deep dive a bit on is nodes. Like there's a whole world of nodes, and what does that mean? There's other stuff like this in the crypto world. There's a lot of opportunity. Let us know what you think. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Let us know how we can help you. And until the next video, peace out.
Signing off.